G'day viewers, welcome to this week's PB's Retro Restorations. This week I'm doing this rather sad looking number 45 Matchbox Lesney Vauxhall Victor. This one comes from my late Uncle Phil's collection. When I first found it in the box it was overpainted in blue, it looked terrible. But what was more terrible is the base plate is actually snapped in half. That's why it's sitting like it does at the front. I'll include a picture how. And I don't know how that happened to it, but I also know Uncle Phil would never throw a Matchbox car out, so it was still in there waiting for the day when I guess the technology's caught up to, be able to do something about it, and that day has come. I would never throw it out either. I didn't think I would ever be able to do anything with it, but not to bang on like a broken record, 3D printer, so it's made me reevaluate several projects. This is one of them, and I think the best tribute we can do for Uncle Phil is to get this one looking like it did before he, or it wouldn't have been he, it would have been one of his mates smashed this. He would never have treated his cars to get that in this shape. But anyway, with all that waffle and rot over, let's get crack-a-lackin', as they say, and see if we can't turn this one around for Uncle Phil. So the answer to the missing wheels was 3D printing. I found this file on Thingiverse. They're actually for the trolley bus. They were designed by a user called Dinehart. I will remember to put a link in the description if you'd like to go and download your own. And because of the beauty of 3D printing, I put them into my program and I resized them so that they were the same size as the wheels that were already on the Victor. Now I stripped the paint off this quite some time ago, a year or so ago. I think I thought I was going to use it in one of my Ashes builds, but I ended up doing the Hillman Minx. And so that's why the paint was all stripped off it. You may have noticed at the start that the base looked like it had an extra bit cut out of it, which it did because I'd cut that out for another project. I can't even remember what project it was. Might have been the Hillman as well. But anyway, I'm going to give the body an extra bit of a clean up and a buff now. Here's the replacement base that I designed in Tinkercad. We've got a new tow hook on there. It's got the tab. I've tried to make it look as close as I can to the original because sometimes I hate myself and sometimes I'm full of myself. This must be one of those occasions I was feeling full of myself, so I put my own name on the base. But then anyone who has their own face as the, channel logo would go to a minister's funeral dressed in feathers. What movie is that from, viewers? Answers in the comments. Go, go, go! Now I did test fit this before I painted it, and it fit really well the first time. I had to file the tab down a little bit and readjust it ever so slightly. But other than that, it worked out pretty good, and I was surprised at how well the printing came out on it, the words. I thought that font might be a bit small, but no. So this yellow is a custom mix I made with Tamiya yellow, obviously, and some white judiciously mixed in that I made for another project that I've got on the go, and I thought they were so close and very similar, I'd just use that paint for this project as well. Yeah, they rusted on tight. Hang on. So after all that frigmarole of, getting that original axle out, when I went and tried the new 3D printed wheels on it, the holes were a little bit too big and they flopped around like something that's very floppy. And I decided just to go with pop rivet axles instead. That way I'd have two of them anyway and they'd be a lot neater. But of course that was its own challenge because I'm stupid. So I'm going to have to drill out the holes a little bit because they weren't quite big enough for the rivet stems. To be honest, they weren't big enough for the original axles either, but better to be too small than too big. You can always make it bigger, right? You're going to get that off now, Peter, you dickhead. I don't know what's wrong with me some days, viewers. I really do not. Okay, viewers, because I'm stupid, I forgot to film myself doing that, and it was probably a good idea because I was swearing and I was carrying on. I broke the tow hook off. I broke the tab off. It fits beautifully otherwise. Whoa. But yep, no. I'm going to try and fix it. No one needs to know, do they, viewers? It can be our secret, just you and me. But it's funny, isn't it? I thought this was going to be the most simple, dare I say it, boring video. And it's turned out to be a real thrill ride, hasn't it? Thrill ride of incompetence, as usual. Oh God, love a duck. Oh, you stick it to your finger, you shit. Well, that could have been worse. I like to use a cotton bud to do headlights because it's a perfect little round circle and you just go boonk and boonk and dab them on. But then it's about this time when I'm painting the bumper I realise, you know what, Peter? You really should have painted the bumpers and everything before you put the base on. That would have made it a lot easier and you wouldn't have to paint around the black tab and the black tow hook. And I just sometimes, viewers, I have the best ideas after the facts. The best ideas. Now I'm only dabbing the paint on the taillights like this because I'm trying to replicate the original Lesney finish, which from all the pictures I could find on the internet looked like they just dabbed a couple of dots of red on the taillights. You're just trying to make it look like an original. Man, oh man, Peter, this would have been so much easier if you'd put the base on after you'd painted the bumper. Yeah, we already had that discussion, Peter. You're late. So just like that, as if by magic, we are done. And if you're just joining us at the video now, there were no problems whatsoever. Another dream build. So here we are back at the start with Uncle Phil's Survivor, I guess we'll call it. Missing half its base, its tow hook. It's also missing its glass. Now, very early versions of this casting didn't have glass, but this one, as you might have seen in some of the shots, had the provision for the glass. So it must have just got busted out at some time. But I'm a skinflint. I could find the glass, but it was going to cost me close to $30 to get it. So I decided to make a replica of a very early release one and just not put any glass in it, viewers. Anyway, this is what we started with. This is what we're left with now. Ta-da! I have to say, I'm pretty chuffed with how this one's come out, viewers, in the end. Despite the fact, well, you know, it's a bit of a patchwork sock, isn't it? The only original part is the die-cast body. Everything else was 3D printed and replaced. But it meant that an otherwise, you know, okay casting has had a second lease of life. I hope Uncle Phil likes it. I hope you like it, viewers. Let me know what you think in the comments. Give it a thumbs up if you've, you know, really liked it. You want to tell me to get stuffed or all that stuff. I'm always happy to hear constructive criticism. I'll put links in the description for those 3D print files for the wheels. I can put one in for the base, but I don't think anyone's going to need or want to use it. I'll just do the wheels. Alright, shout out time, viewers. I got sent this lovely picture of Stephen and his mate enjoying a can together in one of my fantastic t-shirts. And what did long-term viewer and friend of the channel Dan choose to wear when making his pilgrimage to Australian motorsport's holy land of Mount Panorama Bathurst. Why, a PB's Retro Restorations t-shirt, of course. No longer available, completely sold out. Maybe I'll do some more one day, but anyway. Thanks, Dan. Looking good, brother. Thanks for watching my video, viewers. I really appreciate it. If you've liked it and think it's worthy of one, give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends and maybe even think about subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow and helps me to keep doing what I do. Click on one of these links if you'd like to try one of my other videos before committing. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend and I will see you in the next video. And until then, bye.